That's the only thing they can possibly be talking about. So here we are in our settings, display, and this is where we can go in and make all these important changes to our display. So it's very powerful to monitor and make sure everything is working correctly. So if you have no images, we're going to verify the power, to the monitor. Make sure that it's not in standby mode. It may have went to sleep, the machine, and it's just not producing because it's in hibernation or sleep. And we're going to verify the connection between the video card and the monitor. We're going to use on-screen display OSD controls to verify display input, and try using the monitor with another PC. Again, you got to have multiple pieces of equipment to really be properly a good technician. You have to have well-known good parts. And you don't worry about that because whoever hires you is going to have that in your workbench area. Now, for dim images, we're going to adjust the brightness. And these are everything we saw on the first screen. Just really quick, we're going to go through. For dim, adjust the brightness. Check the power save mode. For image quality, check the cable, hardware, acceleration on the hardware, the graphics card. Make sure the resolution is correct, the refresh rate, and then look for physical damage. That could also be a big sign. So in this one, a little bit of duplication on here, but we have display configuration and continue. Let's just talk about it. So it could be low resolution. With oversized images, increase the resolution. When you increase the resolution, you're tightening, shrinking the actual image. It's the opposite effect. Verify no zoom is on there. For color quality issues, calibrate to scanners and printers. They always have their own firmware to calibrate. What you're seeing on the monitor is what you're going to see on the output when you print. And again, we're checking connections to make sure they're not faulty. Dead pixels, we just talked about. The peanut butter reference, you probably hated it. But anyway, moving on. There are software to try to revamp these dead pixels. So if they weren't dead from the factory, and like they literally are starting to die progressively because, eventually your TV is going to kaput, it'll help reactivate them. We can use screensavers and power saving mode to avoid burn-ins. Still can't remember that display. For uninspected objects or patterns being displayed, like static artifacts you're constantly seeing, that could be a faulty adapter. For persistent images on an LCD, try shutting off the monitor for several hours, turning it back on. Like you wouldn't do that, right? Reboot. Wow. Verify the graphics card, driver, and API version, like DirectX, is all supporting the game that you're trying to visually look at. And disable effects or adjust lower resolution if needed. It all does come down to checking and making sure that your device manager is correct. So when you go into device manager, which we're going to learn backwards and forwards in this class, we're going to make sure the driver that we're using for the graphics is the most up-to-date and correct.